Okay, we're back. I am your world-class personal development coach, speaker, and life enthusiast called to serve those who want to live more like their unique selves now. And we're talking about the pain, pleasure, rewards, punishment, and your why. Which method works best? Take two. Which method, thank you so much for coming back in. Which method works best to get you from where you are to where you want to be? Which method works best to accomplishing your goals? Which method works best for you and thank you. For you and what it is that you're doing and where you're going. Thank you so much for inviting your followers. I really appreciate it. I hope the others come back in, but we have to keep on moving. I didn't like that it was unsynced. So thank you for those green hearts and those pink hearts and those peach hearts. We have to date first before we get married, and thank you for those purple hearts as well. So moving right along, talking about rewards and punishment. In the first one, we talked about pain and pleasure, the pros and cons of pain and pleasure. Right now, we're talking about rewards and punishment. So how do I know about rewards and punishment? Rewards and punishment comes from psychology, right? We do things based on whether or not we will be rewarded or whether or not we'll be punished. Pain and pleasure can be looked at a punishment or a reward, but rewards and punishment sometimes is taken quite literally. Rewards and punishment can be used, thank you for those green hearts. Rewards and punishment can be used for, hey Andy, welcome. Thank you for coming back in, Clinton Koi. I really appreciate you being here. Hey Shad, how are you doing? So rewards and punishments is basically where when it's kind of like the carrot, the dangling carrot in front of the horse, right? You keep moving and you will get this thing. You stop moving and you will get, whipped. So rewards and punishment in weight loss could be something like, because the weight loss is the anchor that we're using for rewards. Thank you for coming back in, Nikki. I really appreciate you being here. Clinton McCoy. All right, Clinton McCoy. I'm sorry, Clinton McCoy. Thank you. So when it comes to weight loss, that's our anchor that we're using, right? Hey, Demi Jewel, how are you? Use whatever anchor works for you. Hey sis, how you doing? I saw your dance. You were great. When it comes to weight loss, your reward can be, oh, I'm going to buy a bathing suit. Oh, I'm going to go to the beach. I'm going to host a coming out party for the body or whatever the case is, whatever your reward is. I'm going to treat myself to this really expensive meal. That's your reward. Your punishment could be, I will deprive myself of my favorite food for a week. I will fast for 7 days from 7 to 7, no eating. That could be your reward. That could be your punishment. So, hey Dave, how you doing? Dave's in the house, y'all. What's up? Chicago extraordinaire, how are you doing? Hi. So why that works? Because people obviously want what they want and they don't want to be punished, right? We the horse want our carrot. We don't want the whip. So we're going to keep moving. This is a system that works, and for some people, oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for sharing. I think I saw someone share, unless I'm crazy. So I appreciate you so much for being here. We all want the carrot. We don't want to be whipped. So what happens then is we go after the carrot. So for some people, this works really, really well. People really like that reward. They really go for it. It's something that they're thinking of to keep them going. Please come to Turkey. And for some people, the punishment is something that really works for them. They don't want to be whipped, so they do what they need to do. However, when it comes to rewards and punishment as your main kind of functioning, almost like classical conditioning, exactly. Come through, Clinton McCoy. Thank you so much for sharing, Dave. I really appreciate you doing that. Thank you so much. So when it comes to rewards and punishment, my dislike of it is sometimes you'll talk yourself out of the reward. Oftentimes you'll talk yourself out of the punishment. You'll say, I don't mind fasting for 7 days. I don't mind giving up this thing that I like. It's fine. And then you'll stop yourself from actually completing your goal. Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't really smoke weed, my friend. Thank you. That's something that we'll do because, again, there's issues between listening, not watching. Thank you so much for coming through, JMTSQ. Yes, we'll stop ourselves from wanting the reward. We'll no longer want the thing that we said we want. Oh, I'm going to go out and buy myself this big meal. Oh, I'm going to go out and buy a bathing suit. Baby, you don't want the bathing suit anymore. You talk yourself out of your reward. That for me is my qualm with rewards and punishment. Obviously, when it comes to my clients, the pain principle is real. It is real. But in the previous scope, I talked about my qualms about why it's not always effective. It doesn't last. Same with rewards and punishments, it doesn't always last. You talk yourself out of the reward and the punishment becomes something that you can handle. You become more comfortable with not moving because you don't mind being whipped and you don't care about this carrot anymore. It's not important to you. So, okay. So that's not the most effective thing. I use it for my clients because I can tell which clients like what. Some people are really competitive, and if they're competing against themselves, they're about that. So you use that and run with it. They're my coaches in here, understand. I'm sure you get it, Clinton McCoy. But you felt that black hole? Yeah. The third, thank you so much for those peach hearts and those purple hearts. Thank you, Dave, for coming through. I appreciate you being here. Those green hearts, thank you so much for sticking around. The third method that I talked about was your why. Y'all know I love our unique why. When you're in touch with your why, as the method that you use to go towards your dream, your goals, your whatever it is, that's when it makes the most sense. Negative fuel will bring negative results. Exactly. Yes, thank you for that. That's the same thing with like the pain principle. I get it, it's effective, but I don't like having to go forward because of fear. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like we accomplish the most of what we do when we're coming from a place of, I really want this because I want this. So I like to play in pleasure more. I like to play in your why a lot more, and this is the whole thing of why I'm talking about this. When you're in touch with your why, when you know your why, when you're intimate with your why, pain, pleasure, rewards, punishment, all those things are molded into your why. Your why becomes your pain and your pleasure. Your why becomes your rewards and your punishment. Your why becomes the reason. It becomes your fuel, as Clinton was saying, or was that Mr. Ernie Perry? I don't remember. That pushes you forward. Your why is connected to you inside. It is the carrot. It is the whip. If you don't get up and do what you need to do, what you want to do, what you say you do towards your light, your gift. Now we're talking about your light and your gift. No, please go ahead. Please go ahead and block them. Feel free. I know Mr. Ernie Perry is the head of the block parade, so y'all please feel free to block negative comments. Your why is inside of you. It's not external. You're approaching your why, being with your why, being in your why. Oh man, is so key. That is the reward. The punishment is you not being in it. You don't want to not be in it. The idea of self-worth, the idea of am I worthy of this? Am I capable of this? All those things are not the questions that you ask when you're in your why. Those they don't even come to your lips. Like it's not a question when you are connected with your why and deeply intimate with it. Thank you so much for those purple hearts. I really appreciate them. Your pain and pleasure, your pain comes from not be. I swear. I wish y'all could just like understand how important your why is. And I know there's a lot of people that do. A thing or ideal. It is. No, that's exactly what it is. But in that same energy source, which is a really good way of describing it. I describe the why as the sun to the solar system that is your life, your world. It fuels you. It is the thing that moves and operates your system. Your why provides the pleasure. Your why provides the pain because it's painful to not be in your why. It's painful to not do what your why is asking you to do, what you're called to do, who you're called to serve. It's painful to not live in that space. It's a reward to be in that space and serve and do what you need to do and nurture your light. It's a punishment to not. It all happens exactly. It's the force that helps us move. It's a thing that is so, it moves your entire being. So when it comes to pain and pleasure, I get that. And as a coach, I use these with my clients as well. They're good tools to have. I'm not bashing them. I'm not bashing Tony Robbins. I totally get what he's saying, and I understand that. I'm not bashing psychology when I say rewards and punishments are good, but I could use something better. I think it's good, right? There are things that you can use, but is it sustainable? No, I don't believe pain and pleasure is sustainable. It sounds exhausting. I don't believe rewards and punishment is sustainable. However, your why, that's sustainable. Your why is sustainable. Your why is sustainable because it's inside of you. You are it. I don't know how to really explain it a lot more than I've already done it. Hey, Aries Shifutoka, how are you? Your why is inside of you, and that's what moves you forward. That's what always pulls you through to make what you need to happen. So, this is what I want to talk to you about. I'm so sorry I came on late. I hope you transferred over from tight. Thank you. Right. I'll take both, tight and right. So, when it comes to whatever, keep this in mind. It is good to thank you so much, JMTSQ. I appreciate you being here. What is your name? What can I call you? I can call you JMTSQ. It's fine. Whatever it is that's in your heart, that light, that gift, that Janine, thank you for being here. Thank you, Mark Ellen, 2020. Thank you for being here. Whatever that light is inside of you, whatever your gift is, whatever your skills are, whatever your strengths are, those things are going to be nurtured and triggered and reach extreme motivation. First time viewer, welcome. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for giving me some of your time. I hope you found value in this. I know I do every time I think about it. Thank you so much. And those peach hearts, welcome. Yes, thank you. Purple, green, yum. Wolf of State Street, how you doing? It's valuable. Thank you. I hope so. So, yeah. If you're in a bind and you need something quick, pain, pleasure, rewards, punishment is a thing. But if you're in the long game, yesterday we talked about the long game and the short game. Pain, principle, and pleasure principle, short game. We love Coach Nachi. Hi, Tiger. I feel really good. Thank you, Mr. Ernie Perry. Pain, pleasure, principles, reward, punishment. This is, to me, short-term tactics. These are short-term tactics. Finding out your why and getting deeply intimate with it, that's a long-term tactic because that's something that your light is not short-term. Your gift, your life is not short-term. These are long-term things that you're living, breathing, operating from. It makes sense for you to nurture them in a long-term sort of way. And finding out your why and being intimate with your why is a long-term thing. Welcome, Terry. We just talked about rewards, punishments, and your why, and the difference between all of those kinds of principles and my own little Coach Nachi spin to it, which your why is more sustainable than pain, pleasure, or reward and punishment, period. It's way more sustainable than those things. I know I can remember times when I've wanted something and said, never mind. I'm not going to do it. I don't really care about that reward anymore. I don't want it. I talk myself out of it. I don't care about this punishment anymore. It's fine. I can deal with it. That doesn't make any sense. Hey, Jimmy, welcome to the scope. I'm just about to wrap up. I talked about rewards, punishments, and then I also talked about your why. So the replay will be a really good one to watch. Definitely catch that. I appreciate you all for being here. Look what I found. This has been lost for ages. This is my website, livelikeyounow.com. If you go to the website, there's a pop-up that pops up. Were you like this in high school? What do you mean? Thank you, Janine. Thank you for being here. What is that? This is my website. How was I like what in high school? There's a pop-up. On that pop-up is my 5 highly effective questions to extreme motivation, continuous focus, and finding your why. So it's my compliment. Thank you, Rita. How you doing? God's afternoon, Ma. How are you? Hey, James. Welcome back. So I'm wrapping up. I really, really urge you to watch the replay. It was good and fast. I'm talking really fast today. I hope you enjoy it. livelikeyounow.com. Thank you so much, James. I appreciate it. So I found my little placard, y'all. It's here. Where you can sign up for that. And if you are looking to invest in yourself and really dig deep into finding your why for whatever it is that you want, like your light, like what you're explaining and always living like you now. Yeah, actually, I can talk about that a bit, Terry. book a one-on-one session with me at bit.ly. It was fantastic. Thank you, Mr. Ernie Perry. Come through with that. Bit.ly/coach me Nachi. That's where you can book a session and make that investment in your why. So if you're ready, do that. Otherwise, there's my sign up, which is free, and it's wonderful. I'm always inspired by it, and it's in detail. It goes deep. So enjoy that. Have I always been like this since high school? Yes. Honestly, I would say deep down, but as I've gotten more in touch with my why and why I am where I am, because teens struggle with that being themselves. Yeah, I know for the longest time, for me personally, it was about making sure that the people around me were happy. So I moved to the U.S. Oh, y'all, the scope is ended. Go in peace. I'm going to answer this question, and then we can, go on and do other stuff. But if you need to leave, you can leave. I'm just gonna answer this question really quickly. Thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to visit the website, livelikeyounow.com, as James wrote earlier. I'm from Zambia, and we lived in the States. And there's this thing where when you live in a different place, people kind of like judge you for being too Americanized or something like that. And I was a very self-aware child. I'm a very self-aware person and just aware of my surroundings. And I knew that if I acted differently, it wouldn't be so much on me. It would be, thank you, James. I really appreciate you, all of you being here. I knew that it would look bad on my mother, not so much on me. People would be talking about her and saying, oh, she didn't keep the kids cultured or whatever the case may be. Some just nonsense like that. So even in me trying to live like myself, I was trying to find my space within how can I be true to my culture, but then also live like my unique self. Like, who am I in that space? And I feel like I've always kind of been someone who knows how to live like herself. I never really noticed a lot of the noise that's out there until I started noticing the noise in the people around me and my clients and just the way the world is. And I thought, well, that's crazy. People ask me, how am I the way I am? Why don't I help more people be the way they actually are on the inside? Thank you so much for those hearts. So that's that. I know Live Like You Now started from an old, and I've shared this before, an old friend of mine. I found out that she took her own life. And this person used to, and I'm not speaking ill of people who've passed on, but I know that this person used to wait to live like them. They waited until the point that they couldn't wait anymore and they took their own life. I don't know what happened. I don't know what was going on, but I've dealt with suicide before multiple times. People know they can call me when they're on the edge. I've talked to many people, talked them off the edge, and just last week, so people come to me when they're in that space. And I did a paper, my dissertation was on suicide. So there's this, when I say live like you now, these are real words to me. Live like we're intended to live joyfully, fully human, and feeling at home in ourselves and our lives. Fully human is like an emotional thing. Didn't distract you when you try to fit in as a teen. Not really, to be honest. I wore socks and sandals to school. Not that I can remember. Not that I can remember. I just definitely saw it a lot in the people around me, and I realized, oh wow, not everybody sees things the way I see things or does things the way I do things. So anyway, I didn't really like that people wait to live like themselves. They wait until XYZ happens for them to do something about their own life. Like, what? And you're looking at these other people and saying, oh, they have this, they have that. And that, I get that to a point. It's good to aspire to what you like about other people, but when it interferes with who you are because you actually don't even know who you are, that's a problem. When you're not intimate with yourself, knowing you is so important. It's so important. After you find your why, knowing you makes the most sense, because then you can make moves like you, because you know you're not looking at what Kim Kardashian is doing, you're not doing what this person next door is doing, you're doing what you need to do for yourself, and there's least resistance. When people are being hypnotized, they're relaxed. When I do that guided meditations, you're relaxed. There's no resistance. You're not fighting against yourself. And when you're in that space, there's no resistance. You can, yeah, we really do have to. Anyway, it's about getting rid of the resistance, and the resistance to me comes from not knowing who you are and not embracing who you are. Replay, please. I will, Alice Grayboo. It's coming. Hey, Robert Squires. How are you doing? I was thinking about you earlier. How are you doing? What up, Shamoon? How are you doing? So, I don't know. I feel like knowing you is really important, and I've known myself since I was very young. Yay, you caught me. I've known myself since I was very young. And it's more of like affirming who I am and not forgetting who I really am due to the noise that's out there in the world. But yeah, I really want more people to live like their unique selves. Now, this is real. This is very real. Yeah, no worries. What were we talking about? Anyway, if you're just tuning right now, listen to it right now. So, hi, Dashes, how are you? Thank you all so much for being here. I hope you've shared the scope because this is the second part. It was really good. We talked about pain, pleasure. We talked about rewards and punishment. And we talked about your why and why that's important. Sometimes we set, thank you for inviting your followers, Robert Squires, I appreciate it. Sometimes we set rewards that aren't even our rewards, and that's why we don't connect to them. That's why we don't want them, because they're not ours. They don't make sense to us. You know what I'm saying? Like, the reward just doesn't make sense to us because we don't know ourselves enough to set a reward that actually matters. But when you think about your why, you set the reward isn't accomplishing what your why is about because you're so tapped in and you're so in it that you want to accomplish it. I don't know how many ways I can say this, but your why is extremely important. I'm gonna go. I was late. I appreciate you all being here. I was like a whole 40 minutes late, so I appreciate you. If you are new here, I would urge you to follow. If you have not shared, I would urge you to share. Thank you so much for being here. Again, it's livelikeyounnow.com. If you would like to book a one-on-one session, Noel, it's the replay is gonna be really good. I promise you, it's gonna be really good. Okay, I'll hit you up after scope. The replay is good, Noel. I promise you. I'm gonna leave so you can watch it. Okay, so this is me leaving. But okay, thank you so much, Noel. No, it's Noel. Okay, Noel, I got you. And if it's not good, you let me know, and I'll make it up to you somehow. livelikeyounnow.com. How are you? I'm good, Dashes. I hope you're well as well. No, Wale. No whale. What? Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all. Bye-bye.